talking to Joan Almedilla here on Kababayan Today. She is a theater actress and has done roles such as Kim on Miss Saigon, Fantine, in obviously one of the most successful musicals of all time, right? Les Miserables. So let's talk about bagging these roles and the experience you took away from playing these characters on stage.
When I auditioned for Kim,
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in New York.
Okay.
The story was that I sang at amateur nights at the Apollo in Harlem. My parents were begging me, please, are you sure you want to sing? But kind of like, really, you know, you want to do this? And I'm like, nobody knows, you know, let's just go. And then one of the executive producers for Les Miserables at that time, he was late at night channel surfing, and he saw that episode and said, I want to, oh, can you search for that girl? Took them a month.
To find you.
Yeah, to find me. And then I auditioned for, it was a Les Mis audition. And I sang, and they said, you know, they're looking for a replacement for Kim. Would you be interested to audition? And then I did. It was a terrible audition.
It was a terrible
audition.
audition.
The dance audition was terrible because, you know, I was like, what? And it's different when you say just dance, you know? But if they're like, I wanted to. I wasn't trained that way, although I can say I can move. But I went home and was like, forget it. I was the dance part that totally just destroyed everything.
Tanked. The dancing part tanked, but
yes. And
you
then
booked
I got a call saying we would like our Kim is leaving.
And who was this Kim at the time?
It was Rona Figueroa.
Okay.
And very good friend of mine. And she, no, she was leaving, so they said that we wanted to see if, we just want to rehearse. You know, we don't want to promise you anything. We just want to rehearse you. And it was like about 5 to 6 days, and they were like, I think it was that long. I remember music and then staging the show. And they're like, we think you're ready. My parents, I was so naive. My parents were asking me, are you gonna go in like this show or any role or anything? I'm like, I don't know. I had a costume fitting.
So it was happening, but it was still beyond you that it was happening.
Yeah, I just felt like, you know, oh my God, I'm around these actors, these theater people.
With no professional theater experience before.
Yes.
And in the lead role.
And I met them and I went, I remember meeting all of them after a show one night, and I was so intimidated. I just was so intimidated. But then I couldn't wait to go on. Even then I was like, what does that even feel like to really open a show? To be, you know.
And how long did you perform for Kim?
About 2 years, 95 of July through July of 97.
Amazing. And then it doesn't end there.
Yeah.
After doing that for 2 years, how many shows a week? 8?
For Miss Saigon, you have 6 shows, and then you have an alternate Kim for 2 shows.
Wow, 6.
And sometimes you do get to do 8.
Oh, you know, my goodness. That is just the training that goes into that.
Yeah.
It's you've got to really put your heart into it.
Kim is really like vocally and emotionally and physically, you know, you got to be prepared and be prepared to leave that in the theater.
Yes.
Not bring it home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Whenever I hear about the experiences of our Kababayans when they play this role, because I've been fortunate enough to see it recently in London. It's just like,
I'm so jealous.
Oh, it was great. John Briones was yeah. So let's talk about Fantine.
Okay.
How did that come about?
Well, I got a call saying I wanted to audition for Eponine. When I went in, after I sang my song, they gave me the materials to Fantine. And I said, am I not like too young or something? And they're like, no, she was actually young when she had they told me the story. I had to read the book.
And this was in New York?
This was in New York. And everybody, there was no Asian.
Ikaw lang.
It was all like, so of course I'm thinking, oh, there's no way. Like, you know, my thinking was like, oh, why would they choose me? I mean, you know, I wish I had that. Of course, me. You know, so all I did was I had a little bit of coaching from my past. I had like a short, just few weeks of lessons from studio, like an acting class studio. And I remember what the teacher would say if you panic, or so I would just understand what I was saying on the text, and I just take it from there. I was my own coach. You know, I went in there and I just put my heart out. I sang my heart out. Yeah, yeah. I was so happy. I remember jumping up and down, and my parents were just happy. You know.
Yeah. So how was that?
Then I had to go on the road. That was like, oh, my parents. I really have to grow up now.
But at this time, how old were you?
I was maybe 23.
Okay,
24.
so may edad.
Yeah.
You know, pwede na.
Yeah.
Pwede na mag-boyfriend. Diba?
Yes.
23.
Yeah.
You know, so you went on the road.
My boyfriend was just travel.
Ah,
that was my
that's
boyfriend.
right.
I loved it.
Amazing.
That was my American history.
Yes.
That was my lessons.
Going through all these places. All right. When we come back, kasama pa rin natin si Joan Almedilla, and she's going to talk to us about being a mom, her most important role yet. We'll be right back.